I didn't expect to see someone like you down here in the depths of hell. Oh my god, just looking at you, I can tell you weren't ever human. Uh, you are incredibly rageful. And you're a spirit of some kind, sort of an amalgamation of everyone's rage. Is that right? I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, well, welcome in. I mean, I didn't expect to find anyone here. I sort of carved this place out myself, sort of in the depths of hell. Just my little bubble here. Yeah, I tend to stay far away from people, but I am a very good blacksmith. So in seeing you and sort of how rageful you are, I wonder if you wanted to channel some of that rage into something a bit more productive, sort of like the killing of humans and people. Yeah, of course, that's very productive. You're not convinced that would sort of let out that rage? Well, think about it this way. I am a very good blacksmith. I'm very well known. Of course, by well known, I do mean unknown. So many people here in hell end up taking up blacksmithing because, fire is very abundant. So what I would end up saying is that this would be a really good way for me to practice. I really want to take this from like sort of an amateurish hobby into something a little bit more professional. I haven't had a job here in hell for a while. Sort of the last job I have was sort of like let's just say that it was a total, a complete unwillingness to do some things for certain people, but I had to do it because I did end up selling my soul on accident. So I don't want to be uncouth here, I certainly just met you, but oh, you're feeling rageful for me on my behalf. Okay, interesting. Maybe how about I turn you into a saber? What if I turn you into some form of like weapon, right? And you can channel all that rage, channel all that, and all that energy into something very productive, like killing people, like I said. Okay. Well, if you are interested in that, let's go ahead and just like get started on that, because I do think that this will put me on the map. So. We are going to need some schematics, mainly because I feel like, I have forged a sword before, not in the depths of hell, not through the fires of hell, but I do want to say that there are a few things that I think I need to think about, right? And I would love your input. This is going to be your new body, right? So let's just go ahead and get some schematics down. This is just one of those things where there's many different forms that you can take, and, I am experienced with forging swords, but not here in the depths of hell. In particular, I feel like hell, the fires of hell because it's so abundant. I don't know how, I don't want to burn you on accident, right? So let's just take it in 3 different forms, right? So let's talk about the blade, then we'll talk about the guard, and then we'll talk about the hilt, okay? So in terms of the blade, we're obviously going to form you into some form of sword, a saber of some kind. Do you want to be sort of like a curved sword? Do you want to be a straight sword? Do you want to have one edge that's really sharp? Or do you want both edges to be really sharp? Do you want the top to be pointy? What kind of just describe to me how you feel like you would embody a sword. Okay, I'll go ahead and just draw that out for you. So. Okay. And do you think that's practical? Okay. Listen, so long as you can kill things, I think it should be fine. Okay. And then if we're talking about the hilt, let's go ahead and, not the hilt, the guard. What kind of guard are you really wanting? Do you want the guard to be a little bit more decorated? Do you want it to be a little bit more simple, sort of straight across? Do you want there to be some form of like gems or something on it? Of course, you're going to be embodying this sword, right? And we want you to have like a really good time. I don't know what it's going to be like for you. I've never really been a full spirit before, so you let me know. Okay, gems are very last season, okay. Okay. And if we do that, then okay. And you want, okay. And in terms of, now we're going to actually talk about the hilt. Do you want it to be sort of a simple hilt? I can sort of form it into, do you want someone small? Really, the hilt is for somebody who's going to be wielding you, right? Of course, you can wield yourself if you want. It is something, we tend to, at least I tend to say that it's pretty good to tend to yourself and to wield yourself. I would say that it's very healthy. Anybody who has hit puberty or has, has enough libido would want to wield themselves, but other people might want to wield it. And if you want me to design something for a particular kind of person that you would want to wield it, you can describe either the type of person or what kind of hands they would have, and I would then create the hilt for that kind of person and that kind of hand, right? Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, interesting. And very good. Okay, I have a schematic down here. So what we're going to have to do now, after this schematic, is just go ahead and get started, right? So we're going to have to heat you up, right? And thankfully, you are surrounded in flames already. So what we're going to have to do now is I'm going to have to pull on a little rope, and it's going to rush a bunch of air towards the fires around you, really blowing up all of the fires around you, making it a lot more warm, and it'll start to what's the correct word here? It'll start to really heat you up. Okay, so let's just go ahead. I'm just going to pull. Okay, how is that feeling? Yeah, just getting as much air onto the fires around you. How's that? Okay. And now I'm just going to go ahead and flip you. Now we're going to do that again. So just... Very good. I can see you're heating up. That's very good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and I'm immune to heat, so we're all in hell, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and grab different parts of you, and I'm going to hammer you in specific ways, okay? So at first it's going to have to be pretty intense hammering, pretty hard hammering, and then we're going to go into the detail hammering later, okay? So this will be for the intense hammering here. So just stay still for me. Okay. Right here, I am working on the blade, right? I'm making it exactly how you want it. Okay. Perfect. So what made you sort of a spirit of rage sort of come over here? I would say that, why do you want to be a saber? I know I suggested it, but you agreed to it. Okay. Interesting. You've always just felt like you've been everybody's called you a tool your entire life. Interesting. Okay, I need to go the other side here because this side's getting a little sharp, but this side is still pretty. I'm gonna need to hold you here. Hold on. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. Okay, and then just stay still. Good job. Yeah, it might sound like I'm not putting a lot of pressure, but actually this is so much pressure that you can't, as a spirit, you just can't comprehend, you know? So it's just something to keep in mind here. You know, I'm basically using every muscle in my body to try and get the amount of force in here. And, you know, maybe someday you'll find sort of a hero or someone to wield you in a way that you really like. But, you know, if you have to go through a few heroes, if you have to try and find somebody just to sort of like take the edge off, I think that, you know, I'm very supportive of that kind of thing. You know, it ends up being where keeping yourself cooped up like that, where like you're wanting someone to wield you but you can't, like you feel like, you know, you need to wait until you find the right person. It's not right for everybody, and it could, you know, it could be right for you, but if it's not, that's also okay. You know, we don't wield shame here in this hell household. You know, I mean, if Zeus is in heaven and Zeus wields constantly, so. Okay, so we're going to need to, you're starting to cool off, which is not very good because it's starting to get a little bit harder to get the direct, the proper hammers. So let's just get a few more pulls in here. Great. Okay, yeah, you're heating up again. That's good, 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 good. So just stay. Okay. Oh, very good there, right there. Yeah. Okay, it's you're looking really good here. Okay. Okay. Very good, very good. So let me just take that off here in the schematic. Okay. Next, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to dunk you in this water just to sort of cool you down. And this is just sort of the blade part, right? We haven't touched the hilt nor the guard, so don't worry too much about that. And that's going to be in the finer detail hammering. But first, I'm going to need to dunk you in here. So let's just go ahead and just, yeah, it's going to be kind of like I'm waterboarding you, but don't think too hard about that. So just, okay, and just, okay, one more time. Okay, now that we've got that, we need to do some detail hammering, specifically for the hilt and for the guard. So I'm going to go ahead and do some detail hammering over here. You stay still. I know that it's going to be a bit painful because you've just been dunked in water. You know, and the water isn't really clean here in hell, but stay still. Okay, and then I need this over here. Okay. Wonderful. It's very interesting. Forging a sword here, you've sort of taken on a different shape now. It's kind of fascinating. I think that hell has a little bit of a limitation on the kind of shape that you can have here. I think that when they think of a weapon, and probably you're thinking of this too, right? This is the kind of weapon you were actually envisioning, and I had it wrong. So this is a little bit interesting, but we're getting it. Okay, stay. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so we've gotten some of that. Let's just go ahead and dunk you in water again. Okay. And then from here, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to handle you a little bit more delicately, just massage some of the pieces into each other. And I'm going to use gloves for this because I don't want to ruin, I don't want to get any fingerprints on there, right? I don't want my DNA on you in any sort of capacity, because you are your own person, and I don't want to, you know, I am making sort of a vessel for you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I want you to sort of take me with you on the adventures, the rageful adventures that you're going to be having. So I'm going to go ahead and use some gloves here, just to make sure that we have this all set up. Okay. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and get some of this in place here. I'm just grabbing the guard and I'm slotting it in. Okay, and okay, just a little bit more. Okay, and then let's flip you around, get that hilt, and just okay. All right, very good. Wonderful. You did a fantastic job. Okay, so seeing you here, I do have the vessel. If you would remove yourself from the vessel, I can show it to you. Okay, so, well, before I show it to you, I do feel really bad, because it's not exactly the kind of saber that you kind of might expect. You know, hell has its own rules, and I do think that instead of a saber, it did kind of come out like a trident. I would say that this is perhaps one of those things where hell expects a specific kind of, like, you know, stabby stab. But I still think this is like for the ages, you know, a weapon for the ages, right? A weapon that a hero might wield, right? No, please do not be rageful. Do not be angry. And in fact, do not be sad, right? Be joyful, because this is the best thing that's ever happened to you, right? This is, in fact, the best weapon on the face of hell, right? And you're going to be in hell, right? You're stuck here the same as us, right? Oh no, you planned on going to Earth. Okay, yeah. I see. You planned on sort of being birthed into a new baby with that sort of like rage and becoming sort of the next sort of evil person, but you planned to have this saber with you throughout that. Well, I do have a little bit of I have some sad news for you. Sort of sabers are not really used on Earth anymore, not unless you're trying to like cut chicken or something, or like cut vegetables. I do think that most people are going to be fighting in different ways now. Yeah, you haven't been on Earth for a long time. I can tell. Well, I'm going to put this here for you, because I do think that is something that you need, because I did make it for you, you know. And before we sort of wrap up here, I did want to say that, you know, this was a very good time for me, and I learned a lot from the blacksmithing experience. I am very, very professional, but I am also an amateur. So I do need you to tell me how I could have done better, just so that I know. Okay? Okay. You wanted me to give you what you wanted. Okay, I hear you. I see you. But I am speaking right now, and what I want to say is that that's not something I could control. So next, let's go ahead and ask the pivotal question of, are you satisfied? The options you have that, you know, I'm presenting to you is yes and yes. Yes. And lastly, would you recommend another spirit for this service? Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to get an idea as to if somebody would want this sort of service, right? If there's a demand, then I can be that supply. But if there's no demand, you wouldn't recommend? Okay, well, what do you know? I don't think you know very much. You're just very angry, right? I should have known that was going to be the case. So that's on me, really, right? Okay. Well, okay then. if that's going to be all, then you can take your sort of saber trident and have a really good time. Make sure to think of me when someone's wielding you. That's definitely something that I want. So, yeah, you have a good day. Okay, bye-bye.